All right, we'll continue on with our post-race media availabilities. We are now joined by the winning crew chief and team president, Derrick Finley and Chip Bowers, as well as the winning driver momentarily here coming up on stage of the number 60 RFK Racing Ford, Ryan Preece. So if you have a question, please raise your hand. We'll do our best to get a mic to you, and please direct the questions toward. We'll start with Jordan up here in the front.
I think I know what you're going to ask. I don't know. Let's find out. Nope, it's all good. What do you got? Yeah, exactly. I knew it.
Well, but it seemed like this is not a criticism. It seemed like you had a little bit of a chip on your shoulder in a good way, though. Like in the sense that you're like a lot of F-bombs, a lot of excitement, a lot of, at one point you're like, these guys are crashing. What the hell are you doing kind of thing. You're telling your crew chief to be aggressive. You say you're going to go for it. Yeah. Were you driving with a little bit more of an attitude tonight than normal?
No. I think that's just, 34 degrees. Honestly, there's just a lot of passion behind me. Anybody who works with me knows I come across, I'm extremely focused to the point that sometimes it can look like arrogance. But if you know me, I'm probably, if I have a lot of respect for you, I'm going to be one of the nicest people to you. So, for me, tonight, starting 18th, like coming into this race, it was going to be a big hill to climb. And the reason being is we were in Group 1. We were in the first part of Group 1. So trying to make this race was goal number 1. That was the first thing I said to him. And even though my background is quarter-mile racing, I knew it was going to be extremely difficult because the track was going to get faster and faster. So when we accomplished that, I felt like we hit the goal. We did a lot, and that's not what you want to be like as a racer. You want to talk about, man, we got the pole, we won the race, and all those things. But I knew the challenge, and starting 18th, getting to 9th, having the break, pulling out, make adjustments. I got D-Rock right here who does a great job, and it starts raining. And to me, you don't know, I don't care what type of a race car driver you are. It's 35 degrees. You don't know where you need to be for air pressure or adjustments or all these things. When they set these race cars up, they're in for dry conditions. So you work really hard to get to that level. So, yeah, there was a lot of emotions there. Obviously, I'm on the good side of it right now. I'm extremely happy and proud to have had this opportunity to be holding this trophy at a racetrack that, I won here 12 years ago or 10 years ago, whatever it was. And this was part of that journey, to be at the Cup level. And, I've been doing this full-time for the most part since 2019. And I remember I was going to, I'm not kidding. I was moving back to Connecticut 2 years ago, and the stars aligned, and this opportunity at RFK came about. And I remember there was nights where I thought, if it, is this going to come together, or am I just going to be another story where it falls apart in the last second? And I'm grateful that it happened because I got this guy right here. I have our entire group, which is special, working on this race car, and I know because when I build race cars and I do these things, it's not easy to build speed, and you have to have passionate people behind you, and that's what we have. So going to war every single week, I'm excited about 2026, and I feel like this is, it's a non-points race, but winning at this level is not freaking easy. So I'm proud. So that was a long-winded answer, but yeah.
And you kind of answered my second question, but I would like to hear from Derrick on this as well. This is an exhibition race, right? It's not supposed to count for anything, but it does seem like it counts for you guys for something, and it means something for this team going into 2026.
For me, yeah. No, it definitely does. Over the winter, we made a commitment that we're going to start winning. And we had the consistency last year as a group. I feel, especially with the points changing the way they are to more of a points format. But the one thing we were lacking last year were the wins, and we made a commitment. We said we're going to start winning, and to be able to come out the first race of the year and to do that, even at an exhibition race, it means a lot to us, right? It's like, hey, we can do it. We know what we need to do it, and we're going to do it. And that's how we're going to go. It's how we're approaching this year. We are going to win multiple times.
Come next year, Tim.
Tim Moore, Motorsports Days. Guys, this goes kind of for all you guys, just how important and how special does it feel to win in your first race back since after the tragedy that happened to Greg?
It's extremely important. I think as an organization, and Ryan and Derrick have both touched on this, we're an extremely proud organization. This is an organization built on the backs of Jack Roush, his commitment to this sport, his commitment to his drivers and the people in our organization. We've had a lot of success, and it's time we get back to that. And to Derrick's point, we had a meeting with the drivers and crew chiefs and myself, and we talked about being bold, aggressive, and committed, and the acronym meaning we're going to get back to the front. And this is our first opportunity to do that. And we do it with heavy hearts, like we do it with Greg and his family in our hearts and our minds. And it's been a tough few months for us, right? We've had a little bit of tragedy to deal with, but it's a real testament to the family atmosphere that we have in our organization and the collective commitment to be ourselves and be committed to one another. And Ryan exemplifies that. I mean, I don't know that there's anyone in our organization that's not got a little bit of a tear in their eye right now to be happy for Ryan and all that he's done and all the work he's put in to get to this point in his career, and happy for him and his family. But really, it's a testament to everyone in that shop and everybody in our organization, and we're pretty excited. This is just one of many, as Derrick said. We're committed to having a big 26, and I think this sends the right message.
And Ryan, I think it was right after that little green flag run once you guys got the wet tires on. I think it was maybe 20 laps in race time, but you were 10th. What did you learn to kind of get through there? Was it just getting physical? And like, what did you learn? Because nobody was able to pass like you.
Good adjustments. I know as a race car driver, I'm going to search for grip, but it's like I said before, when we set these race cars up to go fast, they're made for drive conditions. So for all of us, no matter the simulation or all the tools that every team has, when you throw a variable like that with rain tires, the conditions, wet tracks, you can't prepare for that. So as a driver, you need to adjust. You got to look for grip. You talk about dirt racers and looking for grip. Start searching around. But then there's a flip side to that. If you start searching for dry, do you wear your tires out too quick? And there's a balance. So for me, I feel like Derrick, my car chief, my team made the right adjustments. They did the right things. And then from there, it was take care of it, manage tires. And that's why I feel like, on those final last restarts, we could, it looked like we shot out of a cannon. That was because I had so much tire. And as race car drivers, and I'm sure you guys have heard us beat this drum over and over, we want to feel like we have more things that we can do to impact our races. And, my hat's off to Goodyear because, it wasn't our traditional soft tire, but it was a rain tire. And I still feel between them as well as, the increase in horsepower today on a quarter mile with the gear that we're running, you could feel it. I mean, there was multiple times that I couldn't go wide open throttle. And that's saying something. So I'm excited about short tracks this year. I'm excited about all the race tracks, as Chip has said. Yeah, all we've heard for the past year is how consistent we are. And I hold Chris Buescher on a pedestal, and that's saying something because me as a racer, I've raced a lot of great people, but he is one of the best race car drivers that I've been teammates with, and to be able to study with him and kind of lean on him and, take some of his strengths from the mile-and-a-half stuff, as well as Brad, his strengths and how methodical he is on super speedways. I feel like our team and our organization can be really lethal this year. We just got to keep pulling the rope in the same direction and grinding it out.
We're going to do a few in the middle here. We're going to go to Chris and Casey and then Michael.
Chris Weaver, Fox AWGHP. Ryan, racing the way you guys do, you make it look easy under normal circumstances, but that didn't look easy at all. Can you explain, once it got wet, the difficulty of driving those cars and sort of the subtle things you do to keep them straight?
Yeah, I mean, everybody probably enjoyed my radio chatter tonight, and one thing that stood out is when I said we should probably take somebody's windshield wipers off and let them drive in the rain. So I do remember I got a little fiery with that one. And it's not easy because you think about it, there's a lot of mist and dirt and everything on windshields, and you're battling grip, you're fighting the track, you're fighting the conditions. And, I'm happy right now because I'm standing here in front of you, or sitting here in front of you with a trophy next to me, and, everything happened to go my way. And there's been multiple times in the past couple years that I wondered if it was ever going to go my way. And, I'm thankful it did. I'm thankful I didn't choke and, execute. Because that's what it comes down to. That's what separates you from other people is execution. And, I've always felt like when it comes to my racing background, my short track background, that's something I do really well. I might not have the best pace in practice. Qualifying's usually, a little better. It's definitely somewhere I can be better. But when you put me in racing conditions where you have to pass race cars and be aggressive and do those things, I'm going to do them. So, and honestly, the thing that I am excited the most about right now after this, we're driving 7 hours to New Smyrna. We're going to go race tomorrow, and we're going to race Friday. We're going to race Saturday. We're going to race Monday and Tuesday. So I'm starting off my week pretty damn well.
How much did your racing here at Bowman Gray and that one win you got here help tonight?
What do you think, Chip?
Immensely.
Okay, I like it. Like Derrick said, for us, Derrick, have you won a cup race?
Not as a crew chief. No.
Okay, there you go. Well,
Competition director, other positions, but not as a crew chief.
there you go. So I'm happy for you. I'm happy for a lot of the guys on our team. I'm happy to get Jack back to victory lane, and there's a lot of great things today. I can hear you.
Casey Funderburg, Twin City News. Just looking ahead to next week, obviously Daytona is a place where you had that really scary crash last year. So when you just look at the start of the season, being in Daytona, where's your mind at going into that week?
As a racer, it's Derrick. I know you and the boys are probably so much. You're so pumped and your adrenaline's going. You probably want to go work on that race car right now and make it fast. So, for me, it's going out for qualifying night, try to get it on the pole, and keep this momentum going. So when you have this good feeling, you want to harness it and you want to keep capitalizing on it and just let it set the bar for the season and how you want to continue to be. And the people that know me from racing modifieds and where I come from and how I've won races, they know my passion, they know my drive, and how I hate losing more than I love winning. And I want people nationally, around the country to see that too. So I'm looking forward to it. I know it's an exhibition, it's an on-points race, but winning is special, and it's great to feel that.
Michael Massey, front stretch. Derrick, right here. What were you thinking during his radio rant?
At the start when we were riding around under caution and it started snowing and it was sleeting and snowing, I was like, this is crazy. I was right there with him. I was mad. I was agreeing with him, and I sat there and I finally said, okay, we're going to do this, so there's no point in being mad. So I was like, I'm going to try to change Ryan's train of thought here. So I got him a little pep talk, and I thought I made him mad because he didn't talk to me for like the next 30 minutes. But I think he was just not pushing the button.
I was thinking about my wife and all the text messages I was going to get about my radio rants because, yeah.
But to be honest, at first I was just as upset about it. It's something in 32 years of being in NASCAR that I've never done, ride around in snow, waiting for and I had to change my mindset, and that while I was trying to help Ryan just say, hey, let's just go win this thing. It's still a trophy, still a paycheck. Let's do it.
And then what was your guys' fuel thing? Well, I know some of the crew chiefs, James Small in particular, were pretty upset that they let everyone come down and pit there for fuel. Just what were your thoughts on that, and how good were you guys at that time?
We were questioning it. We were pushing hard with the officials, trying to get us to get some fuel, let us get fuel. We felt that was a pretty extraordinary circumstance to be out there in the rain and snow and spinning out and running all these caution laps that don't count. And apparently they agreed eventually, and we came down. But, yeah, we were going to be close. We were going to go for it. I mean, we were leading at the time, so we're like, you know what, we're doing it. And then when they let us come down and get fuel, of course, then we were good, and I was really relieved and happy. So, yeah. I do feel bad for the people who just came down and got gas. In fact, we were talking about doing it ourselves, and because we were leading, we didn't. Had we not been leading, we probably would have come down and filled up and lost our position.
Any other we'll come to Bob up here up front.
Bob Pockers, Fox Sports. First, I assume you're driving a modified at New Smyrna?
I'm going to drive my modified Saturday for the Whelen Modified Tour Race Monday, Tuesday, but also my super late model on Friday.
Do you own those?
I do. My father owns the modified. Him and I kind of own that stuff. It's been, a thing we've done for a long time, but the super late model I own.
And I guess, so you're going to drive tonight? Is
Yeah.
that what you're saying?
Oh, yeah. You want to come?
I got work to do, but I guess you're no time to celebrate.
Yeah. Brother, I'll celebrate in New Smyrna, in Daytona. But I race, man. It's what it's about. And this is going to make that drive a hell of a lot better because 7 hours, I figure I'll get to my house at about midnight, get to New Smyrna about 7 a.m., and we'll just grind it out, have a couple Celsiuses, maybe some coffee, and I'll sleep on Thursday night.
And snow delays this race, rain, sleet during the race, rain tires. Do you want to come back here for another one, or do you think it should go somewhere else?
Bowman Gray special. Here's what I'm going to tell you guys. The fact that this city still came out, we had a great crowd for 34 degrees with potential for rain. I'm sure a lot of people had to miss work on Monday and Tuesday and couldn't come out here, early enough. But they came out for the feature. And for me, I can appreciate that. They love racing. And I think I want to go to places that want us, and love racing. Me personally, I'd love to see it back in Florida, but I'd love to see it at New Smyrna. If we're going to keep doing what we did here, which was renovating this facility, NASCAR put a lot of money into it, made it safer for the weekly racers. I think it would be a great, if it wasn't going to be at Daytona, and we're going to still bring it to different venues around the country and maybe make the venues a little nicer and make it safer. Not saying New Smyrna is not safe. I'm just saying safer barriers and all that great stuff. New Smyrna is such a phenomenal short track. And I think if we were not gonna come to Winston-Salem, I'm selfishly gonna say I'd love to see it there.
Any other questions tonight for Ryan, Derrick, or Chet? All right, gentlemen. Well, congrats on the win.
Thank you.